want to say September.
September was the last time that Nug and Cymek reviewed DC Comics. It's been a long time, and we owe you guys
a huge apology.
A little bit of an apology.
Oh, no, come on. We kind of just... I know I personally didn't even look at that YouTube channel.
We got busy.
We got super busy.
We totally plead guilty on the fact that we neglected some of our fans.
Yeah.
So this is an apology, a heartfelt apology. I think it was a couple shows ago I came out and said things were going to get really busy and that we'd probably quit, and we had officially our final show. But the response was so great that we came back. Well, to quote the greatest movie ever made, The Dark Knight, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I guess we became villains.
Say hello to the bad guys.
We're dicks. I called up Nug and I was like, Nug, I went on YouTube and I read some of those comments and they think we're dicks. And what did you say?
Well, we're dicks.
Yeah. So again, apologies. But officially, I'm sorry to say it, but this will be our last show. We just don't have the time. We like doing it, but we don't want to disappoint you guys. We don't want to keep you guys hanging.
Well, and you're buried in editing and color correction and music and stuff.
Do you guys want to see what I'm doing right now?
Oh, yeah. Can you show a bit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Check this out. I hope it's with me.
Okay, so that is pretty much what my days are looking like around the clock. So
I can't wait to see that.
One of the comments was that those guys are still going to the comic book store and picking up books and talking about it. I actually haven't seen Nug since the last time we recorded the show.
We've been super busy. He's been holed up editing, and I've been working as much as I can. I did a whole bunch of Second City stuff around Christmas, corporate stuff. But anyway, you guys don't care. You want to hear about comics.
Yeah. So for the last time, hello and welcome to Nug and Cymek Review DC Comics, where, once again, Nug and I review some, not all, but the ones we like of DC Comics. I'm Andrew Cymek.
I'm Nug, and boy oh boy, there's been a lot going on in the last few months.
Why don't we start with what's going on in Green Lantern?
There's this Third Army thing happening, and a lot of our favorite Green Lanterns are all weird and different, like Hal and Sinestro are dead, quote-unquote. Guy is no longer a Lantern. Kyle's
stripped of his service.
Kyle's a White Lantern, and John is putting the pieces back together of Mogo. And huge news today, finally, Mogo's getting himself back together, and then Fatality, the Star Sapphire, goes, her. So Mogo's a her, gang.
Can a planet be a
Mother Earth?
Oh, very good, sir.
I worked that out today. I worked that out.
For me, Sinestro, the Green Lantern, the first arc of Green Lantern, Sinestro, I thought it was great, but I thought it suffered from story expansion, where they kind of drag out to certain plot points.
Oh, and let's not forget this other Green Lantern, this Baz character.
Yeah, we made fun of Baz a little bit.
A little bit.
Some of the lines about, I'm not a terrorist, I'm blank.
And now he's packing a gun as backup.
Yeah.
But then, much like Hal got past the yellow impurity one of the first times he ever used the ring, and here's Baz using the ring to bring his friend back to life, or his brother.
You know what? After a lukewarm introduction to the character, I'm actually liking Baz. It's fresh. I don't know. I love Hal. It's okay with Kyle. Guy is great, but this
I like John a lot.
Yeah, John is great. But this new Lantern is really it's exciting me in a way that's like, oh, okay. The Green Lantern comics were getting stale. I found they were getting stale. They kept recycling the whole different colored rings and all this stuff, but I think what makes Green Lantern the strong book is when it focuses on the characterization, the person
behind the ring.
And this Baz character has a bunch of personal issues and family issues to deal with, and issues that we're not accustomed to see when it comes to superheroes.
Yeah.
So I'm liking it.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. And even with this tie-in, even the Red Lantern stuff, Atrocitus is becoming more of an actual character rather than just a cartoon angry dude.
Yeah, I dropped Red Lanterns I dropped New Guardians.
Yeah, so did I. I dropped both of them. But I've been reading the ones that have been tying into the story and going, oh, interesting.
Yeah, and for me, the Third Army, the Guardians, what do you think of the actual character design of what that Third Army looks like?
I think they're a way to be zombies. It's a kind of a weird, we'll turn you into zombies thing.
The funny thing is, that's the one thing I'm not liking too much about the storyline, is the actual physical design of what these guys look like.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it.
But overall, I like where Green Lantern's going, and Jeff Johns has me hooked once again on the Green Lantern stories.
Jeff Johns has me also hooked in the Justice League stuff. The Justice League Throne of Atlantis, War of Atlantis kind of stuff.
I think that the Throne of Atlantis stuff right now going on in Justice League is the best that Justice League has been.
Absolutely.
Since its inception.
Like the beginning and then the villain's journey, but this is the story.
I mean, the thing is I thought that the introduction to the Justice League was, comics for kids. I mean, I really thought that it was, there's nothing wrong with that. Sunday morning cartoon, though. Oh, yeah. Like that kind of thing. Yeah, I wanted a little bit more. I mean, maybe because I'm used to reading Morrison's Justice League. And, I mean, even when Meltzer, with Red Tornado's storyline, the Tornado's Path, I mean, I thought that Justice League just had a little bit more sophistication. And I thought that the introduction of Darkseid as just a, mega-powered being was a little... whatever, and I wasn't crazy about a villain's journey.
Okay.
I don't know.
But the way it is now.
This has me.
This has me, and of course, I get excited when they're like, call in the reserves, and the reserves show up, and there's a brand new person in the reserves who's not even in this. They called in the reserves at the end, and now in today's Aquaman, there's all the reserves are there except for that one new person.
Yeah.
But it also looks like there's a miniature person.
Yeah.
And they're all in shadow, and we don't know who that is.
Look, the great thing that Jeff Johns is great for is he does these teases and makes you want to read more, which is what I believe he's successfully doing it with Aquaman and the Justice League crossover. But he's also delivering the goods.
Yeah.
And I thought that on the first it left me feeling like, well, yeah, it was fun to look at, but I wanted more.
And I'm not against any single character he called in for the reserves. And like everybody he called in the reserves is fantastic. This Element Woman, remember her from the Flashpoint stuff? I don't know who Gold Rush is. I can't wait.
You like Element Woman, right?
Well, I love Metamorpho.
Right.
So any version of him that means that he might show up.
Yeah.
Like I'm waiting to. My jury's still out on Crazy Element Woman.
Right. I mean, for me, to be honest, when I read Flashpoint, which I very much enjoyed, I thought she was the weakest character. I just the juice boxes thing.
I know.
I wasn't all that sold.
But my fingers are crossed that somehow Metamorpho comes back, because I do love Metamorpho.
We'll see what happens. I mean, right now it's actually great writing, great art, and overall it's a great.
And it's fun to see Firestorm and Vixen and Zatanna called in, even though she can't because she's in this crazy Justice League Dark story right now. But it's fun to see Firestorm get called in, a Firestorm that since we've been reviewing it has gone back to kind of the original version of Firestorm. He no longer is two Firestorms that become one big thing. He's now Jason and Ronnie in the body, which is where Brightest Day was going.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, this is kind of a segue here. While we're talking about Justice League, and you bring up about Brightest Day, and I started reading. I don't know why I do. It's almost like a form of torture. It's good torture.
The old stuff.
The old stuff.
Oh, buddy.
And there was a while that we weren't doing the show, and I was going through a stage where I was reading the books because I had to read them. It was just to keep up with what's going on. It wasn't that I was enjoying them. And I think it was in November where I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to read what I enjoy for a bit. And I went back and read a bunch of the old stuff and Brightest Day and thought, they were going on such a,
fun. They were going to a real cool place.
A real cool place. And, I know for the last show, to go back and reminisce on old DC is probably not the way to go because the new 52 has been very exciting. But with Firestorm, it's one of those things where they had him in a good place. They tried something different, didn't work, and now
they're back to where they were at the end of Brightest Day.
Maybe they're feeling a bit of nostalgia on some of these characters as well.
I'm still sort of keeping up on it, and I'm enjoying what they're doing.
You?
I'm liking it. It's fun to see Jason and Ronnie in that buddy. Like today, Ronnie goes, "Haha, what'd you do?" "Oh, I melted it." Well, you shouldn't have done that because you don't know what you're doing. You should talk to me next time before you, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about next? Wonder Woman?
Oh, yeah, let's do Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Wonder Woman's the greatest thing in the world. Wonder Woman is so fun because the new gods are in it. Orion's there.
I was not expecting the new gods to show up in Wonder Woman.
I lost my mind. We were on set up in Sudbury, and I read that, and you were away checking out a location, and I ran around the studio going, "Where's Andrew? He's got to read this!" Oh, it was so funny.
Wonder Woman has continued to be a great, great read. I mean, I really like what they've done with the mythology. I'm kind of waiting for them to pull the trigger on some things.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what I was referring to when I was talking about Jeff Johns and the Justice League stuff, where the payoff is. They've done such a great job setting up this Wonder Woman storyline, and it's almost. I almost feel like, 16 issues in, and we're like mid-season.
I know.
You know, all the relationships are set up, but the trigger needs to be pulled.
Yeah, something big's gonna happen.
Something. There has to be that battle that changes things forever.
Yep.
Until it goes back. But overall, great writing with Wonder Woman. I continue to pick that book up and do recommend it to everybody.
Absolutely. And now, Animal Man and Swamp Thing.
Yeah, I mean...
and let's throw Frankenstein in there, too.
Sure, why not? Animal Man and Swamp Thing has been probably the books that we have been parading around as the best of the New 52.
Well, Jeff and Scott, come on.
They've been hitting it out. I mean, they're being rewarded for their work, obviously, because they're getting the heavy hitter titles as well. I got my brother, who is like me and is a huge Batman fan and generally only reads Batman. I actually got him to read Swamp Thing and Animal Man. He picked up the trades, and he is now collecting them as well because he's like, I don't know where I've been. So again, this is a call out for those of you who have not read Animal Man or Swamp Thing. Get the trades, catch up on it. It's great. They are now fighting in Rot World.
So great.
Which has been a great
and the Frankenstein tie-in's been really cool because it's been like Animal Man's been the red side and Swamp Thing's been the green side, and Frankenstein's been existing in the actual rot, like in the dead part. It's been really, really fun to read all three sides of this fight.
It's been very excellent. I mean, seeing the outcome of Gotham City in Swamp Thing was it's fun. I mean, choosing to have Barbara be the lone survivor in the Bat family, but the sacrifice, that was just a great choice, and I'm really enjoying it. And Scott's leaving Swamp Thing.
Yes.
I found that because my time has been so limited, as they've shifted creative teams, I've dropped books.
Yeah, me too.
Unfortunately, hopefully the new creative team keeps me interested, keeps me on board. But I don't know. Could Swamp Thing be on the cutting list? You'll never know.
No. Now, since we've been away, a whole lot of stuff has been canceled.
Yeah.
New titles have also popped up here and there. That weird second wave with Ravagers and all that stuff, I can honestly say I haven't really read. I mean, Sword of Sorcery I've actually been reading, but because I know Amethyst is going to end up in the dark, which is fine. Vampire's going away, but he's in the dark, so that character's still around. But I've not really been excited about the Team 7 and the Ravagers. Nothing's really done it for me. And the stuff that was canceled because of poor sales, and so I can understand why, but I know those characters aren't gone. Like Captain Atom showed up in Firestorm, and everybody's going to show up somewhere.
The sad thing is, with us, I really enjoyed iVampire.
Yeah, I know.
And
me too.
When they changed artists, I almost think that it was the art that was drawing me to it. Andrea Sorrentino, I think, is now on Green Arrow with Jeff Lemire.
Yeah,
which is exciting. It's going to be. It's not a relaunch, but it's almost feels like it. But when they switched the artist, the art was so atmospheric and dark that it just drew me into the story. And unfortunately, iVampire I dropped. I was one of the people. I was so buy this book. I dropped it.
But there are those books that it's a combination of the art and the team. Like I'm still reading All Star Western,
right?
Which for good reason because it's one of the better books out there.
Yeah.
But when the art and the team changes on a book, things change, and sometimes the direction of the book changes so much that people fall off.
Yeah. So you can't maintain those numbers. But of the canceled books, are you going to miss any of the ones?
Not particularly. I can't think of one that I'm going to really miss. It was I didn't hate Captain Atom, but then he popped up in Firestorm.
Right.
I didn't hate Mr. Terrific until the end,
right.
But then now he's in Earth 2.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody's everywhere. And Earth 2 is another book that is right up there with being great and World's Finest. That little exploration of that whole world. And
those two books, though, Earth 2 and World Finest,
they're great.
They're great. I continue to love them. I thought that with the latest Earth 2 that focused on Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I thought it focused more on Fury.
Well,
I like that she was the remaining Amazon, and he turned her into a one-woman version of the female.
You know what? I was just getting used to the team that I felt like it was kind of a sidestep.
Yeah.
And even though I liked the issue, I wanted to see Jay, and Alan again, and so I'm hoping that goes back to the where it was. World's Finest. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun.
Power Girl, Huntress. And
I haven't read the most recent one. Is Power Girl still diving in head first and then getting knocked out?
Oh yeah,
Huntress
saving
her.
That's the character.
Is she still getting her costume ripped?
Always. Hopefully.
Man, she better be made of money. Oh wait, she is.
Yeah.
Let's get into the Watchmen stuff real quick.
Sure. Before Watchmen was launched with a huge uproar of the hardcore fans who thought that, well, why are you doing this? And us, who were like excited.
Let's see it.
Let's see it. Let's see what happens.
But then we had just a talk before we went on to shoot this today, where you were like saying, "I didn't like where it ended."
But
it could only end in one. This is my argument. It can only end in one spot. The beginning of Watchmen.
So it's my fault. My expectations for before Watchmen were, I don't want to say they were unattainable. I just thought that it was going to be more than just stories.
That's all they are.
No, I get that, but Watchmen was such a
that's
seminal
all of these
point.
Things. This whole room is full of nothing but stories.
No, I get that, but the type of story it was almost like it was just a segue. It was an aside of sorts. And yes, that's what it was. Maybe it should have been called, instead of Before Watchmen, Beside Watchmen.
As well as Watchmen.
As well as Watchmen, yes. Because, the art teams and the creative teams were fantastic. My favorite, I think your favorite as well, was Minutemen by far.
Because that team, that old picture, made me it's like that was the Justice Society of the Watchmen world. And so that always made me want to know, who are these guys?
Yeah. And I mean, Silk Spectre, I love Amanda Connor's art,
God.
and it was a great read.
Yeah.
But at the end of most of these titles, and there's a couple of them still going on, I just felt like, okay, so. And
what was going to change, man? Nothing, because it has to end with the beginning of Watchmen.
I get that. I'm just saying, I wanted to feel more.
Oh, buddy.
I wanted it to fulfill my Watchmen, meter.
Right.
And it didn't. And I guess the new one that just came out, Dollar Bill, I'm not even picking it up.
No, guys, what it is, Dollar Bill was a creation of a bank.
Yeah.
And he was a bank character that became a superhero. So guess what you can do when you're a likeness from a bank?
Yeah, you know what I think it was? This was around that moment where I stopped enjoying the books.
Yep.
And I was reading as like, you know what, if it wasn't, Nug and Cymek reading the book, I probably wouldn't be buying it. So, I mean, Before Watchmen, unfortunately, fell apart for me.
Yeah. I've enjoyed Minutemen, and I once Silk Spectre was done, I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I didn't hate Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed Ozymandias quite a bit.
That's the thing. Dr. Manhattan by Straczynski and Hughes, great art, and I really like the whole what's in the box thing. I really liked it. I think my problem with the entire series was just, I don't know what I was expecting. It's going to end with the beginning of Watchmen. But I was expecting more.
The world was going to change, and now that it's, it can't. Right down.
It was just, I saw that coming. Should have seen it coming.
I'm going to segue here, and you're going to hate it.
Yeah.
Speaking of letdown, let's talk about the Superman titles.
Oh, man. Okay, so...
was that too mean?
Well, it's not too mean, but...
Because Hell on Earth has been garbage. For me, I've not enjoyed it.
I thought that when Lobdell was going to take over, especially after his first issue with on Superman, which I thought was great.
Oh, I thought his first issue was awesome. I haven't enjoyed the Hell story.
I thought that it was going to have some time to develop instead of going right into a major crossover.
Yeah.
And I think that as a result, it suffers because of that.
Yeah.
I think that the issue that I had with Superman from the beginning still exists. Who is this new Superman? Right now, he's battling Hell. and he's focused on that.
Well,
I still do not get the character. Lobdell on Superman specifically has made me laugh a number of times.
Yes, I'm fine with that. Like, but this crossover hell, like, I mean, Superman in that Superman book that Lobdell's writing is the best Superman I've read in that Superman book yet.
Agreed.
But this hell story, I don't care about the hell character because he's a throwaway for me. And I don't care about Supergirl.
I want Superman to succeed so badly.
And now that the lawsuit is finally settled, I'm hoping Superboy can go back to being regular Superboy.
Yeah.
So maybe that's been the whole thing with this Superman thing change. All the Superman stuff changed because of the lawsuit.
Right.
So now that Superboy can be Superboy again, maybe Clark can be Clark again.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure. The things I'm enjoying, I'm enjoying Rockeford's art. I think Lobdell and Rockefort make a great team.
I do too, and I love that Superman.
If they didn't have to cross it over between 3 different titles, and he just put the Hell storyline in the one title, and made it about Superman, and because right now I actually feel reading the storyline that it's more about Supergirl,
and I don't care about her.
So if you don't care about Supergirl, Supergirl, I after reading some of your comments. Yes, I do read the comments every 4 months, apparently.
I don't.
Supergirl, I actually enjoyed what they were doing with Supergirl. Like, it wasn't the Supergirl that I preferred, but it was good. And then now she's wrapped up in this Hell storyline, and I find her the most interesting character in Superman's storyline.
And it's supposed to be a Superman.
So, can I say that I'm looking forward to Snyder on Man of Steel? Yeah. I am.
Of course.
I'm hoping that... with the teases of what's to come in Superman, like, the Krypton stuff, which is probably part of the Hell storyline or leads into it. I mean, we'll see. I'm on board. I'm giving it a shot, but it's still missing something, and I don't even know anymore what it's missing.
Superboy, I'm enjoying him in the Titans titles. Mm-hmm. Like the teaming up and actually being part of a group when it's not focused on just him going, what am I, a clone or what? Like that's every story.
Yeah.
So seeing him in the Titans titles and that having fun with those teams and being interacting with those kind of characters, people his own age, that's interesting to me.
Yeah, and again, when Lobdell introduced Lex Luthor, I loved that.
Yes.
That prison that he designed.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much. That's the thing. There's so much good ideas and good stuff. I almost think that's why. Spreading it out over 3 different titles into this long event, it's kind of like, especially when you have Justice League and the Throne of Atlantis as an event, and that's the event.
Yeah.
It's almost like this is like a mini event.
But this Hell on Earth thing, for me, I'm literally waiting for it to be done.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
But Lobdell's doing something fun over at Red Hood still. I know he's leaving.
He's leaving, unfortunately. So, when again, earlier in the review, I was talking about how I dropped a bunch of titles that I wouldn't be reading. Red Hood is not one of those titles.
Nope.
I loved Red Hood. I still love Red Hood, and I've gone back, read the trades. When I read it, it's fun. And sometimes
there's nothing wrong with fun in comics. There's nothing wrong with that.
Unfortunately, Lobdell's leaving. When Rockefort left Red Hood, I felt that some of the art was suspect. Now, the writing was still there, especially... Unfortunately, during the big reveal of the Joker scene, I thought that the art at that part was... I thought it was a mess, to be honest.
All right.
I liked what the story was, but I thought that it was a mess. And for such an interesting revelation, I thought it demanded a cleaner art.
That backup story in that, like, where Joker manipulated Jason is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And a huge reveal in the Batman books and everything.
Yeah.
So to see that moment, it's time for him to find out in the Red Hood book, and the art was a little off, and it just kind of lessened the impact.
Yeah, it did. It did, especially because it seemed like it was a momentous occasion. So, but anyways, Red Hood, I'm still going to be picking it up, and I love how Roy is becoming more of
becoming the leader, man.
And I love that. I actually love the character design of the trucker hat.
It's
and
the best.
The outfit, I think that's great. So now that we've kind of pushed our way into the Bat books with Red Hood, let's talk about...
I really enjoyed... I'm going to start with the one that's not connected to anything, the Batwoman. Batwoman and Wonder Woman's story has been really great. Yeah. And the art's been cool, and it's always been fun to read. There's never anything wrong with that book.
I agree. I dropped it.
Oh, cool. Wow.
And I was a huge Batwoman supporter.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of the books where I just wanted to have fun reading it.
Yep.
And it was It's
always
funny.
Big.
It's always big. It's always deep. It's always dark.
Like something
dark.
major is, which is not an issue. Like, I mean, let's have big things happen.
Sure.
In books, but.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it was like, okay, well, there's a lot of bad stuff happening in all the Bat books. This was kind of aside from the death of the family, and
but I've been looking at it like this, and tell me if I'm wrong. I've been looking at that Batwoman Wonder Woman story as the female version of the Superman Batman comic title. Remember when they were together?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
And I'm looking at it like this, and what better way to put your two big name, and they are really your two big name female heroes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to tell you you're right, but you're definitely not wrong.
See? He will never tell me I'm right. Okay, Death of the Family.
Death of the Family.
Of the Family.
Yeah. This is the best work coming out of Batgirl.
Oh, man.
Since I can remember. Since Brian Q. Miller.
The tie-in.
I will say that.
Wow, look at you.
I will say that.
Gail's tie-in issue for Death of the Family was the greatest.
Yeah.
That was a kick-ass Batgirl.
I mean, I'm a huge Gail Simone fan.
Yes.
Her Secret Six, Birds of Prey. I have not been feeling her Batgirl at all.
Until this?
Until this.
This new Gail Simone.
I mean, I don't know. I'm glad that they got rid of the old Gail Simone and got the new and hired the new Gail Simone.
Right? Because that old Gail Simone caused problems. But that new Gail Simone is a team player.
Well, regardless, her last two issues of Batgirl have been stellar. But in terms of the emotionality of the character, the fear in the character with her mother and her brother, Batgirl, Gail, well done. Nightwing.
That brother is the coolest character in a long time.
Nightwing. Very, very strong as well.
Love the circus. Love the circus in town. Love that it's part of Gotham.
Now, we were just talking about Superman Hell on Earth as an event. We got Justice League's event with
got Green
Aquaman.
Lantern's
we got
event.
Third Army event, and we have Death of a Family.
Death of the Family.
These are events done properly.
Yes.
This is crossing over on all the titles. The stakes are so high, and it feels like a horror movie. Where
well, it has to. Look, it's the Joker, and of these bloody trays coming out at the end of it, like everybody's getting the same. Well, a version of the same thing. It looks like, and I love that continuity.
Yeah, and I mean, you were like, "What's underneath?"
Yeah, I'd want to know. Like I said, is that the end of the tie-ins, and the next thing is the end of this story in Batman?
It all continues in Batman 17.
Son of a bitch! What's on the tray?
It's great. I mean, it has. That whole storyline has me. Like
Snyder's killing me.
Yeah, and really, it's exciting. I've said since Batman #1, right?
Yes.
It's a great time to be a Batman fan, and I mean this arc
turned me into a fan of this.
There
comic,
you go.
And
See, so if we accomplished anything with this video, I've accomplished anything. It's converting Nug into a Batman fan.
I have worried so much about the end of this that I've lost weight.
You look great.
Oh,
man.
Thank you. Now,
okay, so now all the titles. I mean, we kind of talked about Nightwing, Batgirl, Teen Titans, and Red Hood. They're also part of this,
and it's been great.
Now we haven't talked about Batman per se, like the actual comic, because all the other books have been raised as a result of what's going on in Batman.
Yes, and Batman's still the best of the bunch.
Yeah. So, again, we can't wait for the finale. It's a great, the re-envisioning of the Joker has been great.
May I?
Yeah.
Because I'm very excited for the end of this because I want to know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited that after it's over, we get Riddler, who is my favorite Batman villain.
There you go. Well, my favorite villain is the Joker, and I'm, 1, 2.
And if he can do what he did with the Joker, I can't wait to see what he's going to do with the Riddler. Because the Riddler, I've seen that little glimpse of the Riddler that we saw in that backup story. I was like, that's a Riddler I want to see.
Yeah. Now, there's 2 other books that we haven't talked about. Now, Batman and Robin.
Yes.
Which, by Tomasi and Gleason, has been absolutely amazing. The annual that just came out, I thought was great.
And fun. And for some reason, this I got to make sure my Demon Child doesn't murder anybody book is very fun.
Yeah, it continues to be amazing. The annual just came out. I recommend picking up. It's a great self-contained story. Kind of shows Damian in his future Batman costume that Grant Morrison came up with. I would recommend picking it up. The other book, Dark Knight. Now, I had very high hopes for this book because Greg Hurwitz was coming on board.
I know you did.
And David Finch on art.
I know.
The Scarecrow arc just did not do it for me.
All right. Is there a Mad Hatter one going on?
There is now with Ethan Van Sciver.
Oh, I like Ethan.
I do. I read the first issue.
You wanted more?
I wanted more.
Okay.
So, Greg Hurwitz really impressed me with his Penguin Pain and Prejudice book.
Was so good. Grab that trade.
But again, the art in that made it so much darker.
Yep.
And the shadows. And I'm almost wondering, I mean, we had David Finch and now Ethan Van Sciver, who are artists at the top of the comic book community.
Yeah.
And they're leaving me wanting more.
I'm going to transition into a Bat book we're not talking about, and we're going to move that into another subject.
Okay.
Batman Inc. And Grant Morrison.
Yes.
Who is on Action.
Yep.
Who is leaving.
Who is leaving
Is he leaving Batman Inc.?
Yeah, it's wrapping up.
So we're going to have no Grant Morrison comics written for until we finally get the ever-waited-for Multiversity.
Yep.
How have you enjoyed Grant's run in the new DC 52?
I think that his Action Comics was exactly what he wanted to do.
Yep.
I have not enjoyed it.
No.
His Batman Inc., I think, has been amazing.
Okay.
I actually like Grant writing Batman quite a bit.
I like Grant a lot. I love Doom Patrol and Invisibles and like all that stuff. Flex Mentallo to have Flex, but like the hardcover was so great. I love all of his stuff, and I did not enjoy Action Comics.
Yeah. So that Superman, the entire Superman line of books,
Yeah, something tripped up.
Something about it. But, his Batman Inc., I recommend picking it up. It's wrapping up. It's great. When we talk about things counting and, like, pulling the trigger on the bad guys actually, perhaps succeeding in a master plan, fantastic. And you know what the great thing is Grant Morrison is the person who brought us Damian.
Yeah.
And he still writes Damian so well. So, again, Batman Inc., I recommend picking it up. Do it. All right, and because we promised you last time, here's the tour of the new Silver Snail at Yonge Dundas.
Check it out. Oh, hey, guys. I'm going to take you on a tour of the new Silver Snail. First of all, check out Mordor over here. It's Middle-earth. All of Middle-earth on a big map. Right here in the cafe called the Black Canary, which is awesome. So come on, let's go walk around past the TARDIS and Batman here. So this is just everything that's so cool. There's an actual sans nipples, but there's a Batman costume right here. Baked goods here at the Black Canary. Look at this. This is crazy. It looks like there's a giant Millennium Falcon ice mold over here that I should probably look at. That I think Andrew's probably going to buy. Oh, UPS, what's up? Yes, ice tray. Oh, Han Solo, huge Han Solo ice tray. You can make a birthday cake with this thing, man.
With gray frosting? I might have to buy that. Alright, check this out. Oh man, this is so great. All the cool stuff here. Look at this giant Enterprise. Come on. All this fun stuff. This is the toys. You got your G.I. Joes. I didn't know Plants vs. Zombies had a thing. Oh, Andrew, did you see this, Mr. Freeze? Did you see this Giant Joker? This is Andrew's section. New releases. Look at all the new releases this week. All the new releases this week. Aquaman. That Arrow. You watch that Arrow? You watch the Arrow, Andrew? It's not the worst thing in the world. I'm gonna say it's not the best, but it's not the worst thing. Man, look at all this stuff. Look at all the anime and oh my goodness. Look at Harrison Ford looking sharp here. Looking real good, right?
Man. Okay, so this is what I collect. Look at this. Look at Blue Beetle done in JLU style. Look at Static, Old Man Static, and Micron, and then Guy Gardner. Come on. I don't have enough money to get all these things. Some more comics, more toys. Man. How much? Holy cow, man. There's just so much stuff. Oh, dude. Check out this lead. That's gorgeous. That whole, like, there's Uncle Sam, the awesome Starman. This is so cool. So cool. Oh, look, Marvel section. Let's move on. And now, for the last time.
For the last time.
And let's go out with a bang.
Sure, let's do it.
It's time for the Red Tornado Watch. Oh, Guys, where do I start? Let's start with thank you everyone who writes me on Twitter to alert me when these things happen. But let's start with the first one. Let's start with Earth 2. There was a mention of the tornado.
Yep.
And then we see the Earth 2 tornado.
Yes, we did.
In her stasis chamber, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. There she is, in all her glory, the being put together android female robot Red Tornado. Now,
Yes.
for me, any appearance of a red tornado is fine by me, of course.
Yeah.
But the original Red Tornado was Ma Hunkel, a female Red Tornado
Right.
with a bucket on her head. And then the Red Tornado we know actually started on Earth 2.
Yeah.
Created by Dr. T.O. Morrow, and then then got sent to Earth 1 and tried to infiltrate the Justice League, rebelled against his programming, and became part of the team.
Yeah.
Classic story.
Yeah.
So here's a female robot, Earth 2, Red Tornado. Couldn't be happier. Or could I? And then we get to the Red Hood, and Andrew sends me this as a text.
Yeah.
It says, look at this, and here's this panel from Red Hood. Now, Mr. Lobdell, I don't know if this was for me, per se, but Andrew seems to think
I like
it
to
was.
think it is.
Couldn't be happier that that's in the background of a scene and one of the only colored objects in the
Yep.
background. There's nothing better than that.
Yep.
And here's the other thing that's kind of blowing my mind. Really no different. It's not like a crazy new red tornado from New 52.
Yeah.
He looks like he's the body's the same.
Yeah.
Then, just last week, we get this news that here's a guy on Twitter tweeting pictures. We have some of these pictures.
Yeah.
And here's some of these pictures of the Red Tornado that he's drawing, which looks exactly the same, for this Justice League that has Booster Gold and Hawkman. Like, what is this? Is this a new secret project? Is this why Jeff Lemire was tweeting pictures of Red Tornado? And then today in Aquaman, they're putting Cyborg's new robot lung in, and his dad is trying to make it happen, and Dr. T.O. Morrow says, why are we doing that? We don't need to put him on we got the android. I'll just activate the tornado and everything will be great. Guys, everything's coming up. No, it's Red Tornado time.
All your dreams are coming true, Nug.
Buddy, there's nowhere to go but
And
up.
there's one other, when we were out in Sudbury shooting Dark Rising Warrior Worlds, this guy was able to sneak in a little reference to Red Tornado. I'll put up a still right now.
Oh yeah, that's right, I totally did. I put a Red Tornado in the show.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that show. But Red Tornado is on his way, Nug. And I, for one, can't wait so you can stop texting.
Buddy, I will text you. I still text you. I will still text you.
I know you guys are always looking for your comic book fix, and we're not going to be able to do this anymore. But there's a bunch of guys that on geekhard.com, I'll put up the link. They're really good guys, and even though they disagree with almost everything Nug and I say, not exactly true, give them a shot. They are able to do this every week. We can't, they can, and they're good guys.
And thanks for all of you for watching as long as you did, and thanks for to all the people on Twitter, the comic book people that have been part of the show and talked to us over Twitter. Scotty Lobdell, Scott Snyder, Jeff Lemire, Palmiotti and Gray, Gail Simone, everybody who's watched the thing.
Yeah, you guys have been great, and once again, one last time, thank you.
Thank you.